day and welcome to you on Power and Purpose. And joining me today is Jessica Mofokeng. I'm so excited, and I mean it, guys, that I'm so excited to be having her on my podcast. How are you?
I'm great, and yourself?
It's good to have you, man.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Right? And to think, actually, we had a content that we were going to shoot. I like saying this because it's so interesting. We had a content that we were going to shoot, and on the content list, you never actually picked this one.
Okay.
And then it happened that we spoke and we decided on this one. So I'm just like,
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
come to think of it.
Coming to think of it, yeah.
Right? I'm just
did.
so excited. So actually, I'm going to be talking about self-doubt. You can just say self-sabotage, you know. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. I did. I can say I did back in high school. You know, when you have low self-esteem, like you think you're not capable of doing certain things, or certain things are for others. Yeah, so for me it was looks. So I actually hated the way I looked because of, you know how teenagers can be, you know, at school, high school, you know, they make you feel like, you know, you are not like beautiful as others. And I actually had a problem. So I started envying to look like others. Like, you know, I looked at, okay, these other ladies that are beautiful, like all the guys wanted them and all that. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, I wish I was like that one. You know, all these sorts of things. So this is really impacting young people, especially.
A lot.
Yeah, negatively.
A lot of teenagers.
And then it actually drives young people to kill themselves as well. So this is why we have a lot of suicide.
Especially amongst youth.
Exactly. So it's that, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult. It is.
You know, the feeling of feeling like you're not enough, you don't look good enough, you don't look beautiful enough, you don't do this enough. And, you know, and I think one of the things as well is that the root comes from at home. Because if we are not watered at home, be so sure that when we go outside, we are so weak that anybody can kill us and attack us. You know what I mean? That with me, I have a mother. My mom would rather tell people, my kids are beautiful, but she will never tell me that I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? So when you don't hear those things at home and you go outside and they tell you that you're ugly, you believe what you are told.
Exactly.
You know, you believe that indeed, well, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not like this enough, you know. And then now you start to self-doubt yourself. And I think one of the hardest things is when we grow up, we self-sabotage ourselves. So now it's no longer the self-doubt that is setting us backwards, but it's how you sabotage yourself. Because when an opportunity comes and represents itself, you start thinking of how people labeled you. Yeah.
And then how are people going to look at me because they said this, you know? So you begin to see things from their perspective and believe what they say.
Yes.
At the end of the day. So whatever that you want to approach, you actually have them in mind than what you can do.
Right?
Exactly.
You're
So
like,
it's
their voices.
it's so
inside.
dangerous. It is.
I remember actually, I used to do pageants when I was very young. I remember I got into the stage. So I had a very old swimsuit. So I've always been too much into the art thing. So I got into the stage and then I walked. And I think I was not like the kid that people looked at and they wanted, oh wow, she's a cool kid, oh wow, she's got this and this, you know. So I was just from a very poor background. I just got in with my old swimsuit, and when I got into the stage, they like everybody boo. And I was like, I will never go back into the stage again. You know, because of what happened in that moment, it was like, I will never go to the stage again. So even though there was an opportunity presented to me that, you know what, you're good looking, go do this, I was like, no. In grade 7, I was like, no, I'm not doing this again, because of what had happened when I was young. So it made me to doubt myself and to doubt my capabilities, that boo, now I'm scared because of being booed.
And
you know what I mean?
You grow with it, like it grows because they plant this seed, and then the more you grow, the more, you know, it's been watered. you nurture it, like, and you believe it, like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do this. I will never be worthy enough to be miss something in life because you're never sure whether did they bull because of how you look or where you come from or what you're
Right.
dressing,
Right.
like, so your mind gets flooded with these questions and you doubt yourself, and you begin not to doubt one side or of something, but then you begin to doubt everything, and it destroys. You can say your dreams even get destroyed.
Dude.
Mm.
Like,
It's
even
so
when you
hectic.
wish to want to do something, but and even teachers, like when you have a teacher who's like, no, you're not going to do this, but I think with me, I overcame it at a very early age, because when I got into high school, I did everything. I got onto the stage, I did port, I did so many things on stage, you know what I mean? And I think with me, I was able to overcome it. But for someone else, I know a lot of people were told that you will never be good enough, and they started believing that I will never be good enough. When you fail at school, and then the teachers say that, you're stupid, and you start believing what you are told. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So you believe, and I think with me as well, when I was in when I was in primary, so I had a teacher who had like favorite, and she'd make it clear that this one is my favorite and that one is my favorite. So the whole class would see that, oh, so those who come with nice hair at school, who are from rich families, like okay families, she loved them more, so she kind of embraced them more. And then you started doubting myself when they say submit your books. You don't even want to submit your books because Marcia has submitted and Marcia has got it right, honey. You are not gonna. you know.
It's so hectic. I
And,
mean, at school. Just imagine at
yeah,
school.
I was in primary.
You see, and then when you grow, you have that in mind. Like, even when you see something, maybe you see a positive thing, maybe you want to approach something, and then you have this confidence, but at the back of your mind, then you think of what happened. So it's
It kind of stops you
it's bad.
from such a lot of growth, and you don't realize it that I'm like this because somebody has said something to me years ago, and it has grown in me and has shaped me to be the way I am. So to pull back from it, it's not as easy. It needs a lot of self-aware for you to be so aware of yourself that, you know what, I can't let this crush me. I can't let this do this to me. You know what I mean? But I think also with you, I honestly do think that you're very beautiful, especially like honestly, because you grow gracefully, and
Thank you.
like, has that affected you when you got into the relationship?
It did. Well, for me, it was different. I remember a couple of minutes ago you talked about, okay, this is not being said at home that you are beautiful or you are loved or anything like that. Well, for me, my mom stressed the fact that I'm beautiful, but I didn't believe her. So it was more like you spend most of your time at school than you do at home. So you hear that a lot than you hear that at home.
Yes, guys.
Even though she told me, you're beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. She tried to stress this thing, in me. But for me, it was so difficult because each and every time I'll be around kids, and these kids will like tell me all this, make fun of me, and each and every time I'll be in the corner. So that's how difficult it was. But accepting myself, I think it began when I started to understand my relationship with God, like accepting God
Hey,
in my
Modimo
life.
wa re save Hashem.
Ne-
Yo.
So
Hey, some of us would be a mess.
you're too much because if it wasn't for that, I really believe that I would be, I don't know, because I had suicidal thoughts. I really believe I'll be gone,
What?
But I thank God for that.
How did you overcome that?
You, um, you know, that's why I say I thank God for that, because there'll be a point where I'll gather pills. Ne? But
Dude,
still,
you were close to it.
so I would gather pills and everything, and then think, okay, I'm gonna do it today. Ne? And then when it comes, and I think of my mom, and I think of everything, and I think of all the impact, and then the small voice just says, if you think this is a solution, then it's not going to be, because imagine how your family is going to be, because I was raised by a single mother. And then as much as she was going through a lot while raising us and stuff, so I really thought of, I'm going to make things even more worse than they are, you know. So God would say, I mean, this is not worth it. I would pause it every time and then keep it in this big, there was this big, let me say, it was a big bowl that we kept before we moved into the house, because my mom was renovating the house by then. So I used to gather pills, but when I get to the point where I want to drink the pills, then I would actually pause and not do it. You know? So it got exposed when we moved into another house. That who did this to my pills? Because there were a lot.
Yeah.
You know? So I would actually store them in there and say, okay, no, I'll do it maybe someday. I'll do it maybe someday.
Yeah.
But to overcome that, it was God. I'm telling you, it was God. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have made it.
I think I tried once and I took a knife and I'm just like, this is just going to be the end of me. But I'm like, this thing hurts. I'm so not going to do it because this thing, it hurts. You know, I'm like, never had the guts because the pain was just unbearable. Just taking the knife and wanting to put it through, and
That's
just
why
like,
I resorted to the pills.
no, honey, I'm not going to put myself through this pain. But I think with growing up was more of just suicidal thoughts and just God taking over. And I think it was when I suffered from a depression, like when I went through like a serious 10-year depression, you know, we shall talk about maybe the next time. But it was just in that moment where I always had suicidal thoughts, but I never acted on them. But when I was young, because I honestly felt like I'm just not enough. You know what I mean? I honestly do think that I grew up in a home where I was just never understood, and simply because I did so many things. Like, I was a very talented child, so I did everything, and I'd come home late, and then you get beaten, you know, like, and it was more of, I just felt like this is what I love and I'm being confined in this space. So I kind of felt like I'm not understood. My parents didn't understand me now when I'm old, but when I was young, because I was just everywhere. Sports was me and I was good at it. Sports was me. Soccer, all those kind of things. I was just me, you know. So when I got home, I'd come home late or I'd want to go and do some of those things. But I think with having to feel that I'm not supported and nobody understands what I'm carrying at home. So I just felt like this is just not even worth it for me to carry so much in me and not even have that kind of support where we're like, all right, this is it. We're going to support you, or you are enough, or you are great. So the words of affirmation, I never got them from home. So I started seeking them outside. And I think one of the most dangerous things is when we get into relationships. Because one of the things about relationships is that they reflect who we are. And sometimes we become so crazy, we're like, is it me, Velo, who's like this? You know what I mean? It kind of reflects who you truly are, you know. So when I got into a relationship, I remember my first relationship, I was so insecure. And I think that's just simply because the guy cheated on me, of course. But I was still insecure, man. It was that thing of assure me, protect me, you know, all those kind of things that I wanted, that the outside has hurt me with, that I wanted him to assure me that I'm better than that. And when he did not do that, I was even worse. I'm like, you know what, I'm really not good enough. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I measured myself by how people thought of me, you know. And it was like, if I'm never being told that I'm beautiful, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? If I'm never being told that you're great, I can't believe it.
You have to hear it,
yeah,
to believe
you
it.
know. And thing is, you become, when you doubt yourself as you grow up, and when I think this happened when I was in relationships, that I'd feel so jealous of other girls. You know what? I'm like, but look at her and look at me. Look at her, look at me. You know what I mean? And he started, and I'd say this, that it's with my relationship with God that has made me feel so secure and safe with who I am. as a person and as a woman and as a human being, that I'm great, that I'm beautiful. All the assurance that I wanted from people, I had got them from one person, which is God.
Which is God.
You know what I mean? But along the way, there's so many opportunities that has passed me by because I felt like I was not good enough and I'm not deserving of them. So I'd kind of pull back when they say that, hey, listen, they need this person. I'm just like, no, I'm not good enough. Let it pass me. You know what I mean? Hey, there's this person who's looking for this. No, I'm not good enough. And I think also it takes a lot to break from that shell. It takes a lot to break from that,
It takes a long time to heal, because I remember I was in a relationship, my first relationship ever, after all this, me being insecure and stuff like that, it was out of the way. Now I'm so fine. I love myself now, so everything, like, I'm like, okay, God has actually healed me completely from that, and I forgot about that. And then I was in this relationship, and like I said, when I got into a relationship, I really thought I was healed. Well, God took me through that pain and everything. It's gone. And then I got this guy. I love God, and then we all know Christ and all that. So it was one of the greatest thing that has ever happened in my life. All of a sudden, I'm loved. I've been told I'm loved, and I have this amazing guy, and then who loves God and everything. And we were in school. It was before.
Like school, high school, or
university. Yeah. So it was after matric and stuff. So yes, we became friends, and then we dated. After 3 years, he got an opportunity. He was one of the luckiest ones after graduating, and then he got a job, and then they gave him a car and everything, and then life started.
Yes.
How? I thought everything was fine. How? Then my boy, all of a sudden things changed now. Things changes. And then out of the blue, I'm with him, and then he says, ladies are doing it for themselves out there. How? What?
The pressure now.
So, ladies are buying cars and all that, and I'm like, do you even know what you want to see yourself, where you want to see yourself, like in 5 years from now? I feel like you don't know what you want in life. How?
Wow.
Okay. All right. Where does this come from all of a sudden? And then that comes back. Something that I thought, it has been dealt with. Now it comes back. It hits me. Oh, okay. So this is how this is going to be. So I'm going to meet this at some point in my life where I thought, the chapter is closed, and now I find it here, So, and then the wound now
started to surface,
and I thought, everything is gone, So that really impacts people's life.
He kind of took you back to where you thought you healed from.
I'm not going back, Then I looked back. This started from way back, and then now it resurfaces again, So it damaged me to a point where I told myself, no, for me, no dating, no relationships.
Yeah.
So when you talk about, sometimes it closes opportunities passes you by because of that, So I really thought, I'm not going to do this anymore. Whoever said what loves me or whatnot,
I'm not going to believe that.
So I'm not going to take it. So that's how this damages.
This becomes very sad when we get into relationship, and simply because I know of someone who got into a relationship, and they were like, they wanted the partner to kind of show them, you've dated pretty girls, I'm not as pretty enough like your exes, now do the role, assure me. And this is like an emptiness that has been there, and has never been dealt with, you know what I mean? And I'm so glad that it happened to you, because you were able to stand, to look back and to heal from it again, you know. And this time at a matured stage, this time with an understanding of what you're doing when you're saying you're healing, and to also know your worth as well, because sometimes when you're in relationships we kind of lose our worth and our values. So I'm so glad that it happened when you were old enough to understand it, to work on it. You know what I mean? Because there's young girls out there who are going through this and who feel like, I'm just not good enough. This person keeps cheating on me. This person keeps doing this to me. So it means that I might as well just stay, you know, because there's some who stay.
And it even raises questions as well, that you have a lot of questions of what's wrong with me. Okay, so if he does this to me, then it means there's something wrong with me. Then you want to find faults now. You want to check, you take red pens, and then you begin to see even good things as bad. And then you highlight all the good things, and then now they change, they become bad. Okay, maybe he hates maybe this about me, or maybe he hates maybe my eyes, or maybe my nose is like, so then you begin to hate yourself.
Like, why did he cheat on me? Am I not pretty enough?
Yeah, maybe.
Am I not smart enough?
Exactly.
But one thing I've learned, and this is me growing up, right? I learned and I taught myself this. There is nobody that can see me. Like, if a guy comes to me and they don't see me how God sees me, they definitely won't know how to handle me. I put it like that, because I don't want to be proving myself. Because when somebody does not see you how God sees you, constantly prove yourself. This is me. See me. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. I'm like this. I'm like this. You know what I mean? So you constantly want to check up on yourself. You constantly want to be seen, to be recognized, to be validated. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I feel like, if you don't see me how God sees me, I'm definitely sure that it's not going to work. And also when I was young, I used to be amazed with being told, oh, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. But as I grow up, I want I'd want a partner who's going to see me through beyond my beauty. Can you see me through beyond my beauty? Because I've suffered enough with trying to look like everybody. And I had to go back and start to realize women are so beautiful. You won't finish. Women are so beautiful. Women are taking care of themselves. Girls are pretty out there. It's, so having to hate on each and every one who looks more beautiful than you, you are just filling yourself with so much emptiness. Like you're drawing from your own cup and you're leaving yourself so empty because you're trying to feel good enough by hating on the next person, by comparing yourself with the next person. And until I learned that we are all beautiful in a different way.
Well, for me, it was, I saw it like this. Ne? So if we would want to be like Beyonce, all of us would look at Beyonce and say, oh, she's beautiful. I wish I was like Beyonce. Imagine the world full of Beyoncés.
Imagine that.
Like, how boring that would be.
Yeah.
So, so for me it was okay. So I'm beautiful at my own way, and then there's Beyonce, and then there's this. So, if someone can't see me, the way God has created me to be, so then so be it. So it means we're not meant to be. So because if I'm this way, and then if you dated someone who looked like that, so wouldn't you want to go to something different?
I think
you would want to be reminded of where you're from. So I'd say, if you would want me to look like someone else, then
don't date me.
Yeah,
don't date me.
Rather go back where you come from.
Yeah.
So female.
And we have a lot of that, like where you get to date. Okay, it's never actually happened to me. Let me think. Has there ever been any douchebag that wanted me to look like him? Nah, I've never actually experienced it in a relationship. And simply because I've always made it, and I think this is just me growing up. I've just never really being told that I'm beautiful was just never a compliment anymore. I think I wanted to be told that you're smart, you're different, you've got a different heart, you've got a good heart. You know what I mean? And that's just it. Growing up, you know what I mean? I think, and that was when I started finding my value in God, that I needed no any assurance from the arts from the outside. You know what I mean? But I think it has also contributed a lot. Like it contributed a lot with the person that I've dated, the person that I've heard a child with the person that I've gotten to the longest relationship with, that I stayed in there because I did not see my worth. I stayed in there because I was not good enough. I remembered one point when I was in this relationship, as toxic as it was. It happened. I don't know if I've mentioned this on my show, but it was such a toxic relationship that he'd go partying. So you just check the time. All right, cool. So the clubs are closing at 2:30. This guy must be back at 3:30. So you're just gonna go outside at night, 3:30. You ain't sleeping, waiting for him to pass by, because he just usually used to stay not too far from my place. So it was in that moment where I realized that I've lost so much of myself that I can't even regain it. And for me to regain that, I have to lose him. You know what I mean? Because I've started. It really show off in a relationship as well, but also in workplaces, also in opportunities where. I remember I used to dance, and there was this one opportunity where I had to dance with this guy. He was on Strictly Come Dancing, and my friend was not there. Normally, my friend would just validate me or, listen, you're great, you're doing good, you know. And that guy was like, listen, I'm doing this on Strictly Come Dancing. Do you want to come? And I'm just like, he's like, I'd love to dance with you. But I felt like, no, I'm not going to compete professional level. And simply because I felt like I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? And it's just that. So I missed an opportunity because I felt like I'm not good enough. I missed like so many opportunities because of I had to look back and then say to myself that am I even good enough? Am I even deserving of this? No, I'm not. So you taking you're destroying your own blessings. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is supposed to come to you, you're taking it back because you just feel like it's not meant for you. You're not meant for good. Because that's a very dangerous thing, man. Imagine missing opportunities because you feel like you're not good enough. How much more toxic and how much more destroyed are you?
It's so bad, you know. And then I think, you know, we need to maybe stress it to young people today, because the pressure is too much, especially when you have media. So media has
media, the filters, honey,
you know. So it's gonna be a lot, and I think it's destroying a lot of young people, and especially now because media is making things very worse. We have influencers and all that, so now everyone wants to be like them, and then, you know, they filter pictures.
Dude, you know what's so sad? Even in videos, you
can't post a picture that is not filtered.
You can't post a video that is not on Snapchat. It's so sad.
It is so sad. So that's where now the low self-esteem starts. You know, because you always want to change something.
Yeah. You're like, so, let me filter it. Let me make it more lighter. Let me make it more, no pimples, nothing. Perfect face. So perfect. Guys, this is sad. So you love
the fake version of you more than you. So for you to smile at your picture, you have to do something to it. So that's how hectic this is.
So I'm a makeup artist, but at first I used to worry when I go to places without makeup. It used to worry me. And it's simply because I felt like I needed to fix something in me until I realized, you know what, I don't need to fix anything. I'll just go the way I am and be confident in it. And here's the thing. When you go to places sometimes without makeup, people look at you like, where's your makeup? Like, what's going on? It's like dude, you don't have biang, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you take videos inside the makeup, you still want to filter the videos. So you literally are just like a complete different person.
You see?
It's a filter, it's a makeup, it's a lightning, it's the portrait. It's the portrait also. It's just a whole lot of filtering that you kind of miss the person that you are. I once listened to Ali Shakis where she was like, she no longer puts the makeup because she felt like she's not connecting to who she was, who she originally is. And that's definitely true, that we feel like we're not embracing. And I'm not saying that there's anything with those pictures, but it's the level of how deep can it get. You know what I mean? Do you feel confident without the filters on? You know, do you feel confident without the makeup? Do you feel confident without all those kind of things? Because at the end of the day, this is you without anything else. You know what I mean? So as long as you feel confident and you feel beautiful without them, then it's fine. But the problem is when you don't. The problem is really when you don't. And I think also one of the hardest things that we are getting into with the social media, with Instagram, the kids that are growing into this generation where there's Instagrams and where they get to see people flourishing, where they get to see people living their lives, and they feel like they're just not good enough. They're not doing good enough. They're just not great enough. You know what I mean? And it's just one of the most saddest things, actually, that as much as it has like a very positive and impact that it has, but also with the negative one that you may feel, and I mean, it happens to us as adults. It happens to us as adults where we get to. Is there anything wrong? Do you want me to? You sure? What? Please. Yeah. Is there anything wrong? Anything wrong? Okay, cool. Uh-huh. All right. Okay. So now with the filters, with looking at how other people are living and having to look back at how they are living, I think it also needs a lot of teachings with being patient with ourselves and our growth as well. Do not compare ourselves with anyone. You know what I mean? I said it earlier on my show that you don't know how short their lives is, and you don't know how long your life might be. You know what I mean? So you might reach something that you'd want and you long for at the age of 35 or 40. Then they've reached it in 30 and they probably might die at 40. And you reach it at 40 and you might live 100 years. You know what I mean? So you can't compare yourself with others, but to run your pace, in everything, to not look at others and start looking at yourself as well and start feeling like things are not, because we go through that, honestly. We go through where we look at like Bubona and we just like, this girl is living. And one of the most dangerous thing about this, of having to compare yourself and doubting yourself that you'll ever get to that point, is when you start sacrificing yourself and getting to date the sugar daddies, because those sugar daddies can literally make you feel like
because you want to up the standard,
They can upgrade your life very quick, make you feel pretty very quick, make you feel like a baby very quick. You know what I mean? I've actually had friends who've experienced that life. You know what I mean? And it really is so sad, because you're kind of selling yourself to get to a standard of the next person. You're kind of selling yourself to look the standards of others. You're kind of selling yourself to look like others, and it's really is so sad, because we lose so much.
And I think I've actually was close to someone who resorted to that, because she wanted a fancy life, ne? But then she made a mistake of having a child with a sugar daddy.
It happens.
And then, because you end up wanting to have this life, and then she wanted to grab him to have this life, to keep this lifestyle forever. So if I have a child with him,
this person,
then I'll have to keep this life. It's not going anywhere.
Damn it, man.
And then it turned out to be different.
It will.
Because he was a married
man. They're going to leave you dry, honey. They're going to leave you dry. They're going to be like...
Yeah, so he won't leave his family for you. And then he ended up calling her stupid. How can you be so stupid to be pregnant like that, knowing that I'm married?
So now it's like your fault.
So like this media and everything that has to do with it, it's so dangerous. And then now she has to live with that.
Sure.
The priorities now
and
is changed.
Is the father taking care of the child?
Well, no.
Yo,
because even now,
I die.
And even the wives now.
I thought you were rich, and now I'm suffering.
Yeah, because now the wives are coming in the picture, threatening you, and all these things. I mean,
and now you just look there with the guys. So sad.
So this is how sad this can be. They don't care. Whether the child is his or not, he doesn't care.
And this goes back to self-doubt.
Exactly.
Literally, it goes back to self-doubt. Having to doubt yourself that you will never attain the greatness. Having to doubt yourself that you will never live that life without a man, you know what I mean? Having to doubt yourself that you're not good enough for that, you know what I mean? It really does go back to self-doubt. How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe in the visions that you have? And are you willing to be patient to attain them, you know? So it all starts with all of that, and then you feel like, you know what, I'm never gonna get there. I'm probably never even gonna drive this car. I might as well get a sugar daddy to buy me this car, you know what I mean? Because I know some girls, like I really know some girls who have went through that they feel like it's better to even be a sugar daddy, to date a sugar daddy, and that's just it. And then the child comes, you see miracle.
And you
Oh,
know, and then now
sad.
you're forced to actually change your life
And
because your life
downgrade.
instant, yeah,
I
your
always
life
say
instantly
this, right?
changes.
I don't know. I always say this. Here's what I've learned, and this is what I always practice. It's okay to look broke for a season. It's not a lifetime thing.
Mm-mm.
It's really like it's okay. If I can't afford to go to a cream restaurant, that's okay. Let my friends come. For now, I'm still building myself. So I don't need to date anybody for money. I don't need to have the pressure. So I'm okay with not wearing Louis Vuitton. It's a seasonal thing, and maybe if I do have money, I might buy it, or I might not even buy it, but whatever. I truly believe that we need to step into our season being fully aware that it has a purpose of um, of uncovering the character that we are and we have. You know what I mean? Because if you rush the process simply because you doubted yourself that you will ever get there, you're going to miss out on a lot of teachings along the way.
Exactly.
You know, and having to compare yourself, having to want to be like others, having to want to get there. You know, it's so important to love yourself and to be gentle with yourself, man. Like just be so gentle with yourself. Like look at yourself and just be so gentle
Don't rush
with
things.
you.
Don't rush things. You
Right.
know, and one thing that can help a lot of people is, when it comes to dating. Some people, you know, we all have preferences. We want this to maintain a certain lifestyle. If I want a guy with a car, driving a car, do I have that car myself?
Exactly.
You know, if I want the one who has a house and stuff like that, do I have that?
I mean,
Well,
I'm
the
all
one
for
who
a
can
vision.
maintain, yeah. So if I want something, you know, if I want him to maintain certain stuff, can you maintain that when yourself?
Check
So
yourself first.
exactly. So
Check yourself
if you
first.
can't do that, then I mean, how about wanting to be at a level where you can do something for yourself and then not rely on someone else? That can help you. You know, so you don't have to
And be
want to rely on someone.
patient. Like,
Just be
what is the
patient.
rush? What are we rushing? Why are we rushing? Are we dying? Like,
No
I want
rush.
to understand what is the rush for? Because at the end of the day, you are gonna get there. There's really no need to rush it.
It's a
No
marathon.
need to rush it. And I
It's not
think
a
it's one of the
race.
things with my 10-year depression. It had a lot to do with self-doubt. Why am I saying my 10-year? It's not mine, you
No,
know.
it's not yours.
But like, I don't own no depression,
Don't
honey.
claim
I'm
it.
free and I'm saved. I'm happy. Listen,
Hallelujah.
yeah. So I ain't got no be owning some depression out here. No, it ain't my depression. But I think it had a lot to do with like with self-doubt. Also, it had a lot to do with having to want to get there, you know what I mean? And I think until I had a very intimate conversation with God where he assured me that I will never lie to you, you know what I mean? Whatever I promise you, I'll definitely fulfill it, but what are you doing in the process of it? You know what I mean? Because it's what we do in that process actually that reveals, like I said, that reveals who we are. You know what I mean? So I had to learn from that I'm enough and I'm great. And I don't need to be with a partner to make me feel that I'm great. Find me whole. That's just it. You know what I mean?
And
Find me whole.
and what's good about being in a relationship with God is you realize that it was necessary for you to go through that, because that's how you see his hand working in your life, you know.
Right.
Because yeah, so that's one thing I've actually learned, that I don't regret anything that has happened to me, but I'm rather grateful, because that's how I see his hand working, you know. So I look back and say, oh my goodness, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have seen
wouldn't
how
be where
great he is, because he has been great. He has been with me, and then that paved so much way for me to see the greatness of him in my life. So I'll forever be grateful for everything that has happened. So now I think it is up to us to to inspire young people out there. You know, tell them more about
their greatness.
You know, that God is great. You know, so when you accept Him, it's not that everything's going to be magical and some things are going to disappear like that. But you go through seasons. You know, so seasons are there for a reason. So when it's summer, it's hot. You know, some of us are complaining, oh, it's too hot and everything.
Yeah. Can it be winter already?
Can it be winter already? When it's winter, oh my goodness, it's cold and everything. But seasons are there to serve a certain purpose. You know, so you have to embrace winter. No matter how hard we can complain that winter is here, we want summer, but we just have to wait. We can't change anything. Right. You know, we have to embrace, okay, it's winter time. When spring comes and things are springing forth, and we're happy, you know. So for me, it was seasons, and then now because I've been through that, I'm so grateful because things are springing forth. I can see the glory of God now working in my life.
And you even look like when people see you, they just see the glory of God. We just praise Him. We praise Him. We thank Him for all His greatness. So we're just gonna close it up, honey, and wrap it up. What are the last words that you would like to say?
All I want to say is just know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You can never be as more beautiful than you are. You know, you are made by the image of God. So believe that and carry that. And you'll never go wrong.
Right. At a very early age. I think with me, this is very close to my heart, and simply because I'm raising a girl child. So I just put it to the young girls that are growing up, those little nonnos, oh man, that you don't need any validation from the outside world. You need it from God. So at a early age, have a relationship with God, and you'll be so assured with everything that you will do. You'll definitely excel in it when you are connected to God. You know, so have a relationship with God and know that you're enough and you're beautiful, and you don't need to compare your life, your face, your looks, how you carry it, your voice, anything with anybody else. You know what I mean? So you just have to be you and embrace the person that you are and the person that God has created you to be. And that's just what I will say for today. I hope you guys do subscribe. I hope you do like, you comment. This is Jessica Mofokeng. What are your handles on Instagram?
Okay, I'm just Jessica.
Oh, you
Jessica Mofokeng on Instagram, Twitter, and even on Facebook as well.
All right, please follow. I'm just Jessica. I'm kidding. Please follow Jessica Mofokeng. It's your girl, Renee Malay, on Power and Purpose. Do you like, comment, subscribe? If you have anything that you would like to share with us, please do let us know. We'll definitely be of your assistance. You can DM me if you have anything that you would like to ask that is private. It's at Renee Malay on Instagram, Renee Lomana on Facebook and Twitter, Renee Malay, and see you guys next time. Thank you.